Hello everyone, welcome back to my vlog. Today I'm going to extend my discussion on the documentations. Documentations, as in the documentations that are required in the development of a software. Previously we have discussed about the software requirement specification document, business requirement specification document, and the functional requirement specification documents. These are the documents which are like very core in a project. So I had taken it first in this discussion. So we do have some documents which are required because there are sometimes conflicts. And just before we start, I would like to tell you that the documentations that we are going to discuss now, they can be a vital part of a project in some organization, and in some another organization maybe it's just out of scope, that you're not supposed to work on that kind of documentation. So it all depends. But being a business analyst, or you can be part of any organization in future which is not using what you are using now, so you should have a very clear understanding of what a documentation that you are going to work on it, what is the prime motive of it. So to start with, first is the scope of work. So scope of work is, as you can understand from the name itself, it's that what are you going to do in a project. So you have to elaborate the scope. So this is done because sometimes, see, from the technical standpoint, the things that you are supposed to do are not easy to understand by the stakeholders or by the business. So you need to actually provide the scope, that what all you are going to work, so that they can understand. All this helps in the costing, billing, and everything of a project. So as previously told, the templates of these documentations, they vary from organization to organization. Organizations have copyright of the documentations, but the kind of content that is going to go into them is something that you should be very well aware of when you hear the name of a document that you are supposed to prepare. So in scope document, you should be very clear with that what are you going to deliver in this. That should be intact in the document. That is the deliverables, timelines that you will take for the delivery of that specific deliverable. That is important, you have to specify it. Costing is something which is uh, not a part which can be dealt by a business analyst or by a technical team member, whosoever is making this document, because costing is always dealt by the sales team. So sometimes these kind of documents have the section of costing, and after the entire document is made, ba or technical person, they forward this to the sales team so that they can add the costing part to it. As in, it can be like what is the costing of a resource per day who is supposed to work on the project, and how many, depending upon what is the timeline, so that client is very clear on that how much is the cost of this scope that they have received. Milestone is something larger that you have achieved. So we have a very thin line of difference between deliverables and milestones. Deliverables is something like, you are supposed, you there is a if we take an example of mail sending software, something like Gmail. So you have a deliverable, like in when you are creating a mail, you should have the fonts, so that somebody can adjust the kind of content that they are sending. You should have signature and everything. So these are the deliverables in the scope. And the milestone would be that once all this is done, and like you are able to send a mail, that's a very big milestone you have achieved. And behind that milestone, we have quite a lot of deliverables that were completed. So this is basically very correlatable things. But milestone is something like, if I say Deliverables is a part that you have achieved in a project milestone. Stakeholders might not be interested in deliverables, but if you have they are more interested in what milestones you are reaching. So that is something that you have to add in the project reports. As in, you can have the reports regarding what is the status and of various things that you are supposed to do. You can keep all that stuff in your scope. So if I give you an example just from the layman perspective, if you are supposed to work on a project, wedding a wedding in a family is a larger project, and wedding invitations, that is one project. For example, if we take that, that's a scope that you are supposed to work on. So what is the deliverables in that? So you should be aware of who all are the people you are supposed to invite, what are the addresses of the people, and if you are supposed to courier them, where are the envelopes, you need the stamps. So all these are the deliverables that you are supposed to meet, then only you can actually send the invitations. So these are the deliverables. These are you have segregated that into the parts. The It's just the invitation, but invitation has certain things attached to it, and these are the deliverables. Timeline is like, for example, you say that in January, February, March you are going to go ahead with the printings, that you will do this thing, and in April you will mail the cards or you will courier the cards, and in May you have the wedding. So this is the timeline that you are showing in this scope. Milestone would be something like you are able to select that these are the guests, these are their addresses, and invitations and whatever envelopes, everything you have, everything with you. So you have achieved all the milestones, that who are all are going to attend, what is the count of the people. So all these are the milestones that you have achieved. And then we have the reports would be something like that, status of the address collection, that what is the status of the addresses. If you have 2000 people coming, then what is the status of how many people you actually have the address, or what is the progress report of the printing, because that takes time. So you need to keep uh, evaluating all these things, and accordingly you update your reports in it. So this is just a example from a very basic thing which happens in everybody's life, so that you understand that what exactly is the scope in a project. I would always recommend that whatever you are studying, whatever you are trying to do in your life, in context to your professional life, always try to find out the ways with your correlate it with the personal life. You will find so many easy ways of understanding things, because this is one way which will make you scope understand in a very good way. Then we have the breakdown structure. So this is a document which comes in picture when we have a conflict with the stakeholders sometimes, that the effort that we are showing for a project is like far more than it should be, because stakeholders doesn't understand that what all a developer would be doing at the back end, because he's not a developer and he doesn't understand what they do. So what happens is, to them sometimes the things look very simple, but things are not very simple, they are far more complicated than you feel. So you have to work on these kind of documentations, that is work breakdown structure. This involves breaking down the deliverables, means what all deliverables you have, you actually break down to the level 0, so that you can actually show them that, see, there are 10 steps from base to the actual delivery. We have to achieve all this. For you it's just one step, requirements and straight the delivery, but for us it's the 10 steps that we have to work on. So that is why you have to break down the deliverables. So it defines what of a project, that what you are going to do. So you break down a project to what is a project, and what why is that going to be complicated, or breaking it to the smaller pieces to show that exactly, see, now this is actually transparency of a project, and this is what all that we are supposed to do. This project gives more transparency of a project to the stakeholders. Everything is displayed in a very simple and very easy to understand chart. This chart is also very easy. Anybody in the stakeholder team, anybody is very easy to understand. They find it very easy to understand. So we do have in these documents, we have the common areas wherein we are defining who is making it, and who is going to access these documents, along with what is the core stuff that you are supposed to enter in it. So in this, the main thing is that you actually segregate the data. If we see it with an example, you see it's a hierarchy example how you are going to show the structure. I'll give you the example here also from a very basic example that anybody of us is going through, can be seeing it in their life. You're supposed to build a house. So a stakeholder is asking you that, see, I want you to build a house for me. So you say that it will take, for example, 1 CR amount. So they don't understand why. What is the reason? Then what will you do? You will actually break down it to show them that what all you are supposed to do. This is the reason that it has that much of cost and that much of labor. Different areas uh, of labor that we are supposed to have. Then you will show that we would need the design. We need designing of a house. We need the structural uh, designing also to be done. Utilities would be part to it, finishing would be another part to it. And if we again segregate it to more smaller levels, design would be, you have to plan what is the design that you are going to see, what changes can happen, because house doesn't, you are not able to make a house in one day. It takes months, it takes years. So changes keep happening. So considering everything, and we are including it as a part of our project. Structural changes would be like, you will have to work on the walls, you will have to see the leveling is done, foundation is proper, the pillars are there, everything is in process. Utilities, as in you have to see that plumbing is also one part. Maybe somebody is not very uh, keen to know that what all is there. You have to see electricity is in place, everything is working, your house has light, everything is connected, and electricity should be in a very safe manner. So you need every kind of people involved in it who are experts in their work. Finishing, like you need to have paints, you need to have windows, glasses, everything, all that stuff is very vital part of your project. So this kind of graphical representation, or flowchart kind of representation that is done in this model, is basically done to give a very transparent image of what a project is going to do, and why are we expecting more time, maybe more costing, more resources in it, just to give stakeholders and the entire team a very clear picture of it. So these are two models that I have explained you today. Going forward, I will be explaining you a very crucial and a very critical model, that is the uh, requirement matrix. So I'll discuss with you in the next vlog. Thank you so much